Hello and welcome to a third video in a series of videos about Songwriter's Companion, an application that's available on the Macintosh App Store. This video is not going to cover any of the features of the application. This video is going to be all about how to back up your work that you create using Songwriter's Companion. So I'm going to get started by launching the app. And in the app here, you can see that I've got a bunch of songs, test songs created here, maybe two dozen or more songs. And let's pretend that this represents, weeks or months of work. Now, Songwriter's Companion has a very robust database where it saves all of the information that you enter in Songwriter's Companion. All of the lyrics, all of the audio, and any notes that you create using Songwriter's Companion are stored in a single database. And if you're going to back up all of your songs, what you really want to do is back up that database. So let's talk about where that database is so that you know where it is and how to back it up. So if I go back into the Finder here, and if I go to my music folder, you'll see that I have a folder here called Songwriter's Companion. This is in the music folder. I'll show you the path. There's the users folder. Here's my home folder, which is called Bob. And inside Bob is the music folder, which I just clicked on over here. And inside that is a folder called Songwriter's Companion. And inside Songwriter's Companion is a file called Songwriter's Companion DB with an extension of .sc database. This file is where Songwriter's Companion stores everything. All of your lyrics, all of the audio you record with Songwriter's Companion, and all of the notes that you take with Songwriter's Companion. It's all inside this database. This file gets created the first time you launch Songwriter's Companion. So too does this folder, this Songwriter's Companion folder. If you ever were to rename this folder, change the name or move it somewhere, or change the name of the database file or move it somewhere, Songwriter's Companion application would then not be able to find it. So you don't want to touch this file for any reason unless you understand what you're doing. To demonstrate, let's go ahead and quit Songwriter's Companion right now. And I'm going to come along here and I'm going to change the name of this file, the Songwriter's Companion database. I'm just going to call it X, Songwriter's Companion. So I've just changed the name. And now I'm going to launch Songwriter's Companion again. And let's see what happens. Songwriter's Companion is open, and now the list of songs is empty. There's nothing here. That's because we renamed the file. We put an X in front of the name, and we changed the name. So Songwriter's Companion can't find that file. So what did Songwriter's Companion do? Well, if we go back into that folder, Songwriter's Companion, you'll see that there's a new file here, and it's called Songwriter's Companion DB. Songwriter's Companion application just now created that file when it launched, because it couldn't find a file by that name already in existence. It couldn't find this file because it wasn't looking for it. So it just created a new file, an empty database file, and that's what we're looking at here in Songwriter's Companion now. Now that doesn't mean that we've lost all the songs. It just means that we can't access them because the file has either been moved or renamed. So let's go ahead and quit Songwriter's Companion again. Let's take this file that the application just created, and I'm going to drag that into the trash. I'm going to go back to this file that we earlier renamed. I'm going to get rid of that leading characters that I added, that X and some spaces. change the name back, so now it's Songwriters Companion DB. Let's go back and launch the app again. And there they are. All the songs are there. They weren't gone, they weren't trashed or erased in any way. They simply were in a database that was inaccessible to Songwriters Companion application. So now they're all back. All right, so now that you understand where all the songs are stored, what database they're all stored inside of, you can now make a plan to routinely back this file up. Songwriters Companion is very robust in its database. It doesn't lose things. It's very, very robust. However, you never know when your hard drive might crash or some other software bug is going to screw things up and you're going to lose some data. It's possible. For that reason, you want to back this file up, this Songwriters Companion database. How would you back it up? Well, an easy way would be to go ahead and locate it. Again, it's in the music folder inside a folder called Songwriters Companion. You could select it, go over to the file menu in the Finder. You could select duplicate, and then you have a copy of that file. The copy is called Songwriters Companion DB copy. And then you could take that file and you could drag it to another hard disk. You could plug in a hard disk to your computer and then drag that over here somewhere onto your external hard drive. I'll just drop it on the desktop for now. So there's a backup right there. Let's just pretend that's sitting now on an external hard drive. And since it's a backup, I might want to rename it. I might call it backup 1, something like that. And subsequently, a month later, I might do the same thing again, come back to my my database, do another duplicate, have that duplicate, and drag it off into my other hard drive. And now I've got multiple copies of the database. But they're all, of course, just copies, and the one that's being used is the one that remains inside the Songwriters Companion folder. It's in your music folder. All right? So that's how you go about backing up Songwriters Companion. That's one way. The other way is if you're like a lot of people, you might be using Time Machine, which is Apple's backup application. If you use Time Machine, that's great. That's a good way to do it. By default, Time Machine will back up all the items that exist inside your music folder. So if you know how to use Time Machine, use it. If you ever discover that your database has been deleted by somebody else in your household or your hard disk crashed, using Time Machine, you'll be able to get it back. You'll be able to locate the file out of Time Machine and put it back into this location. There's one other thing to think about doing. The application, Songwriters Companion, has a feature in it called Export Selected Songs. What you might want to consider doing with that is selecting all your songs, using that Export Selected Songs menu item. It's under the File menu. Export Selected Songs. Use that. You get a dialog asking you to choose a folder to which songs will be exported. So right now I've got the desktop is selected here, so we'll just come over here and click Export. I get a dialog that tells me the export process is ended, and click the Show in Finder button to reveal the export folder in the Finder. So I'll do that. I'll click Show in Finder. And the Finder opened a window showing me that I have all my songs. Now, oops, let's go back here. All my songs are now exported into the Finder. Let's put it in column view here. So here's the desktop. The folder that it exported, it called Songwriters Companion Export Saturday with the date. And inside that folder, which is on my desktop over here, you'll see that there's a series of folders that match up to all the songs that I have in Songwriter's Companion. Apple Tree, Bottom Rung, Brand New Day, Crow's Nest, they're all there. Apple Tree, Bottom Rung, Brand New Day, Crow's Nest, etc. So this export contains everything about each one of those projects, each one of those songs. So Apple Tree, if I click on that, you'll see that there's the lyric stored as an RTF file. An RTF file can be edited by just about any text editor on the planet. And audio is exported as MP3 files, meaning that they can be played by just about any piece of audio software on the planet. And notes, if I had any notes for this, those would also be stored as an RTF file. Again, editable by any text editor available. So doing that, if you do the export, what you're doing is exporting everything to your hard disk, to a folder, in a format that's accessible by many other applications, by any text editor, any audio player / editor. So you can consider that export another way of backing up and securing all of the work that you do inside Songwriter's Companion. So that should about do it for an explanation of where Songwriter's Companion stores all the data and how to back up that data. I hope this video has been useful, and if you have any questions, you can visit my support website for Songwriter's Companion and get in touch with me through that website. Thanks for watching.